Have you ever felt like you're just stuck? Waiting for something to shift in your life and your relationships? Well, today, we're going to dive into 6 really powerful ideas, all inspired by a series of insightful poems that can help us smash through those barriers and actually start moving forward again. Let's get into it.
I mean, does that line just hit you? You know that feeling, right? Just waiting for that perfect moment for all the stars to align before you finally let yourself be happy. It's such a common feeling, which makes it the perfect place for us to start.
Okay, so the first big thing we need to tackle is what we'll call the trap of someday. It's that thing we all do. We postpone living, we put our happiness on hold, always waiting for some perfect future that, let's be honest, might not ever show up in the exact way we're picturing. Wow, that just perfectly nails that feeling, doesn't it? The whole idea of waiting for someone else's permission, waiting for unspoken rules to magically be met, or for another person to kind of release you into your own happiness.
And this leads to a really cool term that came up in the source discussion, life in suspense. It's this idea that you're not really living now. You're just constantly waiting for some future condition to be met. And here's the real problem. While you're busy waiting for life to be great, you might be missing out on the great life that you already have.
So what does this actually look like in real life? Well, it's that fancy perfume you never wear because you're saving it for a special day. It's waiting for somebody else to tell you that you're good enough. It's believing that your work only has value if you get a certain price for it, instead of just loving the work itself. So the whole point is to spot these patterns and give yourself permission to live fully, right now.
Okay, let's build on that. Our second mindset really gets into our relationships and this huge communication hurdle that I think we all face, the myth of common sense.
I love how this poem just plays with that word common. We assume so much is shared, right? Shared understanding, shared values. But that last line, man, that's the punchline, isn't it? It's often not enough to be common practice.
And that right there is the myth in a nutshell. We think we're on the same page about big things like love, but are we really? You might be showing love by doing the dishes, acts of service. But maybe your partner's love language is words, and they're just waiting to hear you say it.
So what's the big shift here? It's moving from just assuming to actually checking in. You got to stop thinking, oh, they know what I mean, and start asking, hey, is this what you mean too? That's where the real connection starts to happen.
All right, this next one, this is a big one, a real breakthrough. Mindset number 3 is all about finding the place. And just a heads up, it's not somewhere you can find on a map.
You hear that? It's all about that gap, the space between where we wish someone was or where they think they should be and where they are, right here, right now. You just can't connect with someone's potential.
And this is so important. You have to meet people where they are. The source material had this brilliant example of a careers advisor. I mean, think about it. You can't start talking about a 5-year plan with a student who's just trying to figure out how to get through today. You have to start right there, in the mess of the now. You have to accept it. That is the only starting line.
Okay, so if we're going to meet people where they are, what does that take from us? Well, that leads us straight into mindset number 4, opening the door to growth.
So simple, right? But man, is it powerful. Being open, it's the key that unlocks literally everything else we're talking about today.
And check this out. I love this word that came up, opportunity. It's perfect, right? It's where being open creates the opportunity. Because if you're not willing to be a little bit vulnerable, that door to progress, it's going to stay locked tight. And opening up, that means having the courage to say what you actually feel. It's what the amazing Brené Brown calls dropping your armor. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Our brains are built for safety, not necessarily for happiness. So if a situation doesn't feel safe, forget it. We're not opening up. That's why creating that sense of safety is, well, it's everything.
Okay, so let's recap. We're open. We're meeting people in the place. That's great. But just thinking and feeling isn't enough, is it? We gotta have action. And that brings us to number 5, taking willing steps. That line right there, it says it all, doesn't it? Thoughts are great, words are good, but without that third piece of the puzzle, action, nothing actually changes.
Think of it like this. Action is the bridge. It's the thing that takes an idea from just floating around in your head and makes it real, something you can actually see and touch. It connects what you want to do with what you actually do. And I know, sometimes that big dream can feel totally overwhelming, but you have to remember this great example. Say you want to start running.
The first step isn't a marathon. It's not even a 5K run. It could be as simple as just putting your running shoes by the front door. That's it. That tiny little action tells your brain, hey, we're serious about this. And that's how you start to build momentum.
And that brings us to our last mindset, number 6. And honestly, this one might be the most profound of them all. It's an idea that can totally change how you see your entire journey. We're calling it the peace of progress. You know that feeling of being in between, where you're not where you used to be, but you're not quite where you want to be yet? We usually see that as some kind of failure, like we're stuck in limbo. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? This poem suggests a totally different perspective.
So here it is, the big idea. That messy, in-between state, that life in flux, that's not the waiting room before progress, that is progress. The simple fact that you're not back where you started, that means you're moving, you're on your way.
So, what if we could make peace with that? What if we could actually be grateful for being on the journey, instead of always being frustrated that we're not at the finish line yet? Maybe that's what progress is all about.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one simple question. Just for a second, forget about the 5-year plan, forget about all the things that have to be just right. Based on everything we just talked about, what is one tiny, willing step you can take today to move forward? Thanks for joining me.